going on the website, so we're up to date on what's happening in the village, so we don't hear gossip. In other words, let's find out.
Daily would be kind of hard,
Okay,
but we can
weekly.
probably do weekly.
Okay, weekly.
So there'll only be a little bit of gossip, not the train that rolls through right
Okay,
now.
so that we know what's going on in the village as far as the buildings being taken care of, what's happening.
Okay, that's not a problem. And as I stated the last, well, let's get into the property manager's report. Right now, what's going on is we're having the elevators redone. The Yorkshire was first. What they do, it's in two different steps. One, they come in and change out the components, and the second, they come in and do the stuff for the door, being the wires and the motors and things like that. So we've already started, I believe, on 2 buildings, definitely the Yorkshire, and I believe the Edelweiss, because that's where I asked them to go next. As well as all the items that George is doing, we're getting the buildings painted. We have addressed the trees that are growing out of the building, the nice little plants that will be gone shortly. As they go around to the building and they pressure clean and they paint, they are taking everything out. We are painting the curbs, as you can see, and there's just many different things that are going on inside of the village. We have our own security force right now. Today we pulled, I believe, 9 passes, and we found a couple of illegal tenants. So the letters are going out, the ball is rolling to try and clamp down as to who lives here, like Marcy was saying. Because we do really need to know who lives here. We have people that shouldn't be here that are, and eventually we will get most, if not all of them. Yes, sir?
Why not bring everybody, no matter who is going to rent or anything, by to get registered, just like she said before?
They're supposed to.
Right.
And what we do is when we find someone that's illegal, we offer them the chance to become legal. If they do not become legal in, say, like 10 days, then we do have to start other ways of either getting them out or whatever is suggested through the attorney.
What about the owners? Don't they have a responsibility to make sure?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do, and they are made aware of the situation. But we do have some owners that aren't willing to comply. And after we get to a certain point, an injunction can be placed against the owner.
Right.
But that will take some time because we do need to do our due diligence and try and let the owner get these people legal. Yes.
Are we making any progress collecting money from the tenants of delinquent owners?
Well, actually, I'm glad you asked that. We have someone new that's temporarily helping us out in the office who's doing collections. And we also have a unit owner that's helping us out with the rent garnishments and items like that. So we are making progress towards that. We do have some more people on rent garnishments, as well as we have a couple people who are on payment plans, and also we have had some people that's just bringing cashier's checks to pay off their bill, which I was amazed at. Yes, ma'am.
Are the refunds for the barcode,
Yes.
how far back are you going?
Well, if we can prove that you paid, that's what we need to do, because I know not everyone paid.
Just bring your receipt.
Right, if you still have your receipt, or if you come in, we look at your file.
You gotta be kidding.
Well, I know.
We lived here
Or-
for 27 years.
Well, did you have, that many years ago, did you have to pay for the barcode?
Yes, we had to pay for barcodes.
Yeah, no, but they were charged for barcode years ago, not, maybe 10 years ago when we installed the system, only $4 or $5 for the cost of the barcode.
Oh,
Never
okay.
a deposit. This came out in the last 3 or 4
Yeah, we're
years.
talking the deposit,
Talking of deposits.
where there are some people, either 1 or
So
2
that's
years
why I
ago.
say, how far are you going back? I mean, it's a ridiculous
It's only about
thing.
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Did you make
3 or
a
4
deposit?
years.
Did you give us a $50 deposit? No, you didn't. I've been here too long.
Okay. Yes, sir. By law, we are able to go to the renter of a unit, of a delinquent owner, and have them pay their rent directly to us.
How effective is that?
We have like 6 or 7 people that, that we had prior to this new woman coming on board, and we have about 4 or 5 more. So it's 13, but it's a start.
Out of how many?
No, we have about 140 seriously delinquent people. However, there are some that are
Owner
banks that own them.
Okay, está bien.
Okay. Hans?
Shouldn't the owners, can't you put a lien on their property or make sure that they pay it that way, or how does that work?
Yes, we get, if they decide not to pay and they go to the attorney, they are, after 45 days of being at the attorney places a lien on their unit. And then 30 days after that, we are able to foreclose.
Okay. Does that mean that you can evict whatever tenants is there?
After we take title, yes, we can evict who is ever there.
Is that only if the apartment is there's a mortgage on the apartment?
No, the association can foreclose on any assessment that is not being paid.
But again, if there's a good tenant in there and we take title, you know, why throw them out? We'll just collect the rent.
Well, that would be a board decision.
Yeah, that would be the board decision. I don't wanna, you
So
know.
then, by doing what you're saying, you could go and take the title for that property.
Let's say that someone owes us about $3,000, okay? So even prior to that, they're late 30 days, they get a letter.
Right.
They get a second letter at 45 days. Then they go to the attorney sends a letter stating that you owe the association money, 45 days will put a lien on your unit. At 45 days, if they have not paid, they place the lien and they send out a letter saying in 30 days, the association is gonna foreclose on your unit. So, the attorney. At that point in time, if we foreclose on a unit, it has to then go to the court system, which is backed up, to be quite honest with you, because years ago, this would only take 3 months, now it's taking 6 to 9. The judge then, it's basically sold on the courthouse steps. The association gets the unit, the title to the unit for $100. If there is a mortgage, we are still subject to the first mortgage, which means we can't sell it, but we can clean it up and rent it because we hold the certificate of title. If there is no mortgage, at that point in time, the association owns the unit.
So the whole thing is gonna take approximately a year.
Nowadays, yes.
Yeah, I heard him. I heard you, Scott. Thank you.
Okay, Frank, you held up your hand.
Do you have my check ready?
It's in the mail.
Come see me tomorrow, or come call me tomorrow,
Thank
and
you.
I will look
Good
at
to
them.
see you.
I have been busy today. I picked up the checks, but I have not gone through them.
Make them wait.
Yes, Hans?
Well, for us who owns property here but live abroad,
Mm-hmm.
it's very important that when we try to get in contact with you and rectify certain things that are wrong, that we get a response. So far, I have not gotten that. I've sent numerous emails and letters to the board and to the front office, and I have not yet received any answers for it. So that is a very important issue before you go ahead and start processing.
Yes. Yes. Right now, the problem is that even though they were given instructions, United was sending people to the attorney on their own. Their instruction was they have to let us know who's ready to go that step so the board can make a decision as to who goes to the attorney. That did not happen. And on October 6th, I had like 20 people that went that shouldn't have. So that has hopefully been rectified, and I'm still working with, the attorney has now been given instructions that if anyone's sent to them, they need to contact the office so we can say yes or no.
How high is our attorney fees?
Well, to be quite honest with you, we do have some high attorney fees. However, it's for collections because we pay them up front. And in turn, the collection invoices go on the unit owner's ledger, so we will get paid for it. And I've worked out for next year with a new retainer agreement with the attorney that the association is not going to be paying anything. They're going to bill the unit owner directly. So they will come down after the first of the year. Yes, Michael?
The budget, preliminary budget, is that almost ready?
The preliminary budget was ready, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, after we do the new financial management company. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, I'm going to turn this back over to Michelle.
Okay,
the next thing on the agenda was the approval of the minutes from the meeting from November 4th, 2010 that was held in the clubhouse large card room. Everyone in front of us has a copy of the minutes. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
We approve the minutes as is.
Can I have a second?
I second.
Just a second.
Hold on.
Oh, you-
Scott has an issue with them, he would like me to place in the, I went by what, Francis had done at the last time she meeting minutes. Scott has an issue that no one's names appear in them. I will amend them to have the names in the meeting minutes.
He doesn't want them to appear, or he wants them to?
He does want them to appear.
He does want them.
Okay, so
Yes.
we'll now need a,
So,
Okay,
we'll make the motion to, as amended.
I make a motion that we put the board members' names in the minutes, and we approve it as is, with that exception.
does anyone second that?
I second it.
Does anyone object? The motion's carried, the minutes are approved, as stated. The next is the approval of the sales and leases. We have in front of us quite a bit, okay? There's an approved annual lease of a 2-bedroom unit in the Zurich for $900 per month. An approved annual lease of a 2-bedroom unit in the Zurich for $1,000 per month. An approval sale of a 2-bedroom unit in the Heidelberg for $40,000. Approval sale of a 1-bedroom unit in the Edelweiss for $28,000. Approval of sale of a 1-bedroom unit in the Nottingham for $33,500 cash. Approval sale of a 2-bedroom unit in the Heidelberg for $67,500 cash. Approval sale of a 1-bedroom unit in Yorkshire for $33,000 cash. Approval sale of a 2-bedroom unit in the Zurich for the sum of $50,000 cash. Approval of a seasonal lease of a 1-bedroom unit in Interlaken for the total sum of $5,600. Approval of a seasonal lease of a 1-bedroom unit in the Nottingham for the total sum of $3,200. Approval of a permanent occupancy permit to the Yorkshire. Approval of an annual lease of a 2-bedroom unit in the Zurich for $1,000 per month. Approval of an annual lease of a 1-bedroom unit in the Zurich for $650 per month. Approval of an annual lease of a 2-bedroom unit in the Edelweiss for $1,000 per month. Approval of an annual lease of a 1-bedroom unit in the Bordeaux for $700 per month. Approval of the sale of a 1-bedroom unit in the San Moritz for $40,000 cash. Approval sale of a 1-bedroom unit in Yorkshire for $28,000 cash. Approved a permanent occupancy permit in the unit in the San Moritz. Approval of an annual lease of a 2-bedroom unit in the Nottingham for $1,200 per month. Approval of an annual lease of a 1-bedroom unit in the Heidelberg for $699 per month. Approval of an annual lease of a 1-bedroom unit in the Interlaken for $675 per month. And denied roller release of a 1-bedroom unit in the Interlaken.
I make a motion to approve sales and lease.
Second motion.
Does anyone object? Motion is carried. Okay, the next item on the agenda is to change the December meeting date. I had emailed the board because of the holiday season, the way the meeting would fall. And a lot of people go away and a lot of people aren't present and everybody's busy doing their little things, that we either move it to the 9th or the 13th of December. One is a Monday, one is a Thursday. The 9th is a Thursday, the 13th is a Monday. So I was asking for the board to approve to change the date to one or the other. I don't care which.
Didn't you say?
The
that
13th
there
would be
were
fine.
1 or 2 board members that can only make it on the 13th?
So then it would be the
Then I would
13th.
say,
What is it
well,
now?
you were
The
one of them,
13th,
right?
is that what everybody agreed to?
Thursday.
It's a Monday, the 13th is a Monday.
Sure.
Okay, can I have someone to make a motion to approve to move the December meeting to Monday the 13th?
I so move.
I second it.
Does anyone object?
So
The
it's
December meeting will be on the
Monday,
13th.
The 13th? What day is that?
It's a Monday.
Make sure that's the regular.
It's the regular
Yes,
board
the
meeting.
regular board meeting.
Okay, the next thing is to replace the ceiling down the clubhouse corridor. We have, it's pretty damaged, it's pretty bad. And it's one of my little pet peeves since I've moved here. When I look up, a lot of people don't look at the ceiling, but I tend to look up at a lot of things and notice a lot of things. The ceiling tiles.
Especially when I do the work.
When anybody does the work. The ceiling going down the clubhouse corridor, Marie, would you like to go over what we have here? And, one thing I can tell you, a lot of the tiles in here that have cracked or damaged, we can take some of those that are in good shape, that aren't bulking, and replace those and use those in here when we do this.
Okay. We get a good discount at Lowe's, so I went to Lowe's and said, how much would it be to do this? To replace the ceiling tiles, the material itself is going to be $264. If Lowe's does the labor, it's gonna be $4,530. However, George and I were estimating with the in-house labor, it'd be right around $416 for two gentlemen over 2 days to replace,
It's 2 days it'll
Yeah.
take us to replace.
two
it.
gentlemen, 2 days to replace the ceiling
2 days.
tiles.
So you're talking about almost $700 for the whole job.
Yeah,
We're talking 780,
But
800.
But they're working here, they'd be sitting by the pool. I want them to keep working, okay?
so the difference would be if we had
They
the
will
outside.
continue to work every minute they're here.
Carrie,
Get to work.
we know.
Get to work, George, you're sitting.
So if we had an outside expert do it, the contractor, it'd be $4,794, but if we did it in-house, it would be right about $800.
It doesn't make sense to say that though, because
But it doesn't matter. Well, can I have a motion to,
I make a motion that we,
do it
we
ourselves.
approve the $800 for the tiles and the work, we'll do it in-house with George's crew.
Doesn't make sense to say.
Does anybody second
Second it.
that?
Derek,
I'll second it. Does anyone object?
Doug seconded.
Objected. Anybody object? The motion's carried. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the financial management company. Everybody on the board had a chance to meet with the New Community Strategies. It's a new financial management company. And, Maureen, I'll hand this over to you.
We've been having issues with United, as many homeowners know who have had the issues with United, and it's not very easy to get them cleared up. So the board had asked me a couple meetings back to go out and find, CPAs or management companies or things like that. And when they went over the quotes, the board decided on New Community Strategies to come in and interview. I believe every board member has had a chance, with the exception of Paul, because he was on a cruise, to meet with New Community Strategies. They are proposing to do our financial management for us. Everything that United has done for us, the filling out estoppels, the charging the monthly maintenance, things like that. There are some things that they'll do that they won't charge us for, which is nice as well, that we get charged for by United, like the special assessment fee. They charge us every month just to put it on the unit owners' accounts. And yes, and then they have a website that a unit owner can go on and pay either by credit card, by check. You can have your money direct debited like it is now, or they offer this feature where if you want to have your credit card billed every month, it'd be $1 fee per month, but you can actually have it go on your credit card. I don't know if they still do it nowadays, but I know back when I was in retail, a lot of people paid with their American Express for everything. Yes.
They also give every unit owner access to their own account, that they can go in and look at their own account. They also give unit owners access to the financials to see what's going on.
In real time.
In real time. So in other words, you're looking for the treasurer's report, you'll be able to see it. They also break line item by line item down. So if we want to know how much we spent on lights for along the porch or for outside, they will break it down by line items. They also do the budget. They also do grants, that's included. The books that we currently get now that go out are $5 a book. These are $3.
How long is it gonna take to switch over from?
Well, we're thinking of doing it, January 1st would be the ideal time, because you don't want to change a month out for tax purposes and things like that. So we would start with them January 1st, that means once we get the budget done, they would be doing the coupons for us and things like that. Plus,
How long
they're
do you have to let them know ahead of time?
30 days.
I met with the owner of the company, the founder of the company. The company's been around for 20-some years or whatever. This company was not started for need of money or for any other reason. I mean, this guy, he has 2 doctorates. He's the provost of the medical college at Nova Southeastern. He's a very impressive man. He basically got this company started after his son received his master's in finance at Nova Southeastern and started the company for him, and it's a top-notch company.
Is this place bonded? You know, Bernie Madoff was a wonderful guy too.
No, he's,
We have asked for their fidelity bond,
Yeah,
and they,
I'd like to know if they're, you know, bonded or, you know, if you're.
Just answer.
yeah,
come on, he's the
they are.
dean, he's the dean of the
Hold
medical
on a second.
college there.
They are bonded, and if they do get this account, they are going to be raising their fidelity bond to meet whatever they need to meet for us. So before they get anything for us, we have to be happy with their insurance.
Before you call a motion, I'd like to talk about the contract we received. Let me have the microphone.
Okay.
Well, before you talk about the contract, Scott, let me just say a few words. They have agreed to work with us even before we sign the contract, and we need a 30-day period. So we have to give the present company, United, 30 days. Anybody who's met with these people, you have to walk away very impressed. And we control our own destiny. If there's a problem with a unit owner's account and we rectify the problem, the property manager has the ability to correct the problem herself, or himself if we change, but we're not changing property managers. So there's a major amount of pluses in dealing with them. I mean, they swore and they seem like they're very honorable. You're gonna get your financials on the 15th. The 15th for United is the 16th, the 20th, the 28th. There is no such thing of the following month. And when we get it, we have to go right through it with a microscope because there's more errors than you could believe. And they still haven't explained to us how somebody like me, who gets his money pulled out of my checking account, how could I be delinquent? I wasn't delinquent, but there were other board members who were delinquent, and the money is pulled out of their account. They can't explain that, and we're still trying to figure out the answer. These guys are very good, and I don't know who found it. I think it was Michelle that found it, who deserves a lot of credit. Their references were checked out by Michelle, I believe, and Maureen, and maybe Terry was involved. But they came up smelling like a rose from A to Z, and every board member was very impressed. I don't know anyone that had any problems or complaints or anything. No, Scott had no problems. He was at the meeting with me.
I'd like to hear what he has to say.
He's
about
looking at the contract, which is another thing, which is a legal thing.
it. He's being repetitive.
Go ahead, Scott.
Okay.
I concur that the people at this company look like they can do an excellent job. They used the word impressive. We were impressed with what they did, what they told us. But they told us certain things that are not in this contract specifically, and therefore leaves them the option to do something differently if we approve this contract as it is. From my notes for the meeting, they did tell us that about the website, the computer program. They did tell us that the unit owners could pay by credit card with a one-time payment of $10 and then $1 per month charge after that, which is very good. They did tell us that they would deliver and pick up the checks and vouchers at least once a week, because one of them lives nearby. They did tell us about the collection process that they're going to do with the attorneys, and that they're going to do due diligence with vendors when we have bids. They're going to do the background history checking of the vendors and see that they're competent. We asked them if they're going to print out delinquency reports, which don't show up the way we could use them in these samples that they gave us. And they told us that they use ADP payroll that we also use. However, the part about the credit card is not in this contract. The part about the courier delivery, one time a week or more, is not in the contract.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. New community strategy will drop off checks at office.
Oh, yeah, that is, yeah, the courier delivery is in there.
But you're right, the credit card.
I specifically asked them that we have about almost $4 million when we are collecting our monthly maintenance and assessments and the $1,560,000, and do they have a fidelity bond that will cover us for $4 million? The reason I asked them that, because in their brochure, they say they manage some community funds up to 90